Underneath the moonlit sky, feel the vibe. Island breezes whisper low, weaving love's tribe. Man, I dance through my heart, so free. With every swaying step, she's a melody. Through rhythm of love, we all belong. River of Ommmmm flowing through our veins. True self reflected in love's strong chains. Together we rise, wash away the stains. Our souls intertwine, carrying through refrains. In the sunshine we're never lost, just found. Echoes of laughter, we groove to that sound. Colors of the sunset, painting stories deep. With Nana and Maria, alive in our sleep. Nana, na, oh, tombstone, with shine clad. River of the moor flowing through our veins. Oh, Shama, do Shama, Stuto way. Oh, Shama, the stage was starting, we find our light. Together we rise, wash away the stains. Our souls intertwine, carry through refrains. Santa Sita, very shine forever bright. Breath of love, we ignite.
It's gonna end now that I'm pissed. The world, it's on my blacklist. I let 'em know that I blame you. So, Maria's brothers and sisters, Lucifer's brothers and sisters, many are called, but the chosen are few, right? Doesn't their own comic book of horror, gore, and death say 144,000? Right? Where's that number come from? Ancient Vedic India. What's really going on? Who is really behind DARPA and the invention of the death spell? The very virus word that we cannot say because who did it? Who did it? Who killed your grandpa? You know, enough. Have the Trump people been discredited yet? Or will you march into death? Forward to death. March into machine gun fire, which today is vaccines, preservatives, micro, nano drugs put into your food. Who's doing this? And don't tell me that you looked at their very reports and their research to get the truth. I like how people come to me and they say, you know, I figured out the truth from liars, from despicable, disgusting, gross fucking people. I mean, I don't need to get my truth from books that endorse. God damn, I don't even want to say the word. Do you hear me? Do you understand what I'm saying? Kabbalah. Do you pick up the Nordic myths and the Edda? And do you see passages like Yahweh says it's okay to marry a 6-year-old girl and consummate that marriage? That's what's in your books. And don't tell me that that's where I need to go to get my truth. Because that's why I created this podcast as Maria Orsick's spokesman to say there is an alternative. There is an alternative to, PEDO. Of certain religions, institutions right in your face. Right in court. Every day settling with their victims. Burning. They wish they could quickly get back to burning their neighbors at the stake for heresy. That's a word we use a lot nowadays, isn't it? Like sin. All these archaic words. Okay, you make me sick. Are you sick yet? Words. And I hope I'm not just meaningless babble to you. I hate these people. You should hate these people. People hate me, but I've never harmed a child. I've never poisoned people's water. I've never made a bomb and dropped it on people. I've never wished someone to burn at the stake for what they believe in. As long as you're not hurting others and you're consenting, I don't care what you do. Really, honestly. That is freedom, and that was America before it died on 4/20/2024. And if you don't like it, tune out, turn off, drop out, right? Tune in to Taylor Swift, drop out of the conspiracy. Oh, that's interesting. And drop off the ledge of your own created proverbial flat earth. How fucking stupid. Stupidest fucking shit. Let's argue about the shape of a illusionary Maya. Complete. If it's not, then then reality completely fucking sucks. And evil always prevails. If this is not a simulation, then evil always prevails. If you gather the information, collect the data, analyze it, remove the fallacies, you'll see that evil always, in all ways, wins and always destroys the good. And the good has to escape to another frequency field, because to fight with honor and die is to win. Simple. And if that's not your code, that's because you are in the process. And I'm not talking to, our people. I'm talking with you, against them. You're, with you, to them, you're fucking cunts. You suck. Because we could, and it will. And Maria is coming in UFOs, as was seen by the children in Fatima. In the first time reality, it was Donna, but now it's Maria. Because who are you to tell these people how to fucking live? They don't fucking care what you think about them, because their highest joy is their own true self, and they pursue their, highest joy. Not the lowest common denominator around them. That's the very, very, very dangerous. This is a very dangerous energetic law when you come into your enemy's frequency field, and for all practical purposes, in the midst of a all-out, 7 world war, astral, physical war, not started by the good, not waged by the white light, not initiated by Maria Orsic and the Vril Girls. No. Initiated by Aleister Crowley. And people say, well, how the fuck could that be? How can't you figure it out? All of pop culture worships him as a god, stupid fuck. You think there's something else and someone else and some alien when this is in your fucking face. But you won't deal with it because either the code in you says, he's right. Let's get what we can get for ourselves. Do what thou wilt. So fucking what? Everyone who thinks for themselves does what they want. Does what that. Why you gotta say it like a fucking English prick? Do what thou wilt. Hey, thou can suck thou's dick. And I'm sure you would, you fat, ugly fucking Blavatsky. Lean on us, Blavatsky. He's Lena Blavatsky. You can suck a fucking dick, fat bitch. And burn, keep it up. Crowleyanity is Christianity. Right in your stupid face. America. I'm not talking to you who want out of the American nightmare. The whole country is reflected as one big Daniel Day, or whoever it was, American psycho. Manifest. That's what you manifested with your fucking nonsense, with your self-help, fake confidence. Fake confidence. See, that can't be pulled off around Maria Orsic. She hates fake confidence, fake anything, because you're wasting our time. And people hate me around me because this is all a performance. You just want attention. And that's your condemnation. Because, as Maria said, there is a natural law of counterbalance. When something pushes one way, it automatically swings up the other way. Every time. That's the laws of nature. That's the true religion. Reflected in astrology, reflected in your true self. And the truth is, the myth that's being played on is the true self created the avatar that lives on Venus, and the avatar created you in the simulation and created you for one reason only, to be crucified when it crosses paths with the true self. It's over. Everything fake is over the moment you meet your true self. And I've described I had actually a meeting before. I'll tell you, this is exactly what happened. And let this be the beginning. Meeting my true self. And I never heard the term. I didn't grow up in like a new agey, fake spiritual house. As fake as Christianity. If you're going to follow Blavatsky, you might as well follow the Bible. You might as well follow the Talmud. You might as well follow the Zohar. You might as well be a fucking Juju. You know what I mean? Be one all the way out. I respect that. But to look at the illusion and think that it's true is something completely different. And instead, let's take this route. Let's go this way. Because actually, Mother and Father Lou Shiva, Alleluia, are present with me. And we would, they appreciate my fire, but this is where we're going. Do you want out of here? Or is life too good? Believe it, a 25-year-old mother with her 2-year-old daughter and her 3-year-old son living in a tent in Gaza that a 2,000-pound American-made bomb lit their bodies on fire, and they burned to death for 3 or 4 minutes, realizing I'm on fire, burning to death. Because, why? Because, well, the very first layer is the masses will not stop the military, industrial, religious forces from doing this. Simply, the numbers don't add up. The numbers of the population of America could stop and burn down and destroy the places that make these bombs and do justice to the people who commanded it to happen. Plain and simply, first of all, the people are to blame, because an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. The people being killed in Lebanon, Gaza, West Bank, Palestine, Syria, Afghanistan, Iraq, Iran, Yemen, almighty, beautiful Yemen, all of them, every one of them, all of them are middle class, working family people. So, who's responsible over here? Middle class, because they're the numbers. And I know I can feel people saying, how dare you blame me? How dare I not blame you? Your ancestors weren't rich. Your ancestors fought and died for freedom. How dare you? How dare you be so selfish? And that's unconcern for self. If you truly loved yourself, you would love the principle of protect the innocent, because you want your children protected because they're innocent. And if you're not willing to live by the principles, then the gods of this world are going to give. They're going to mete out equal justice. The scales of justice will be balanced with the fingers of the Mother Goddess and the All-Father, Lord Alleluia Shiva. And I tried to tell the story that I don't think I'm anything because when I died, Yahweh, and people are like, I don't understand you. Listen, Lucifer, Allah, Lucifer, Shiva, right, is a actual man. And you're living in his world. And he's real. And with, all of my energy, there's no one I've ever met like him. And he showed me, proved to me, he was the one who tricked me, deceived me even, because it's the only way to teach you. He would not, he told me, I took no pleasure in harming you. I didn't want to do it, Joe. We're friends. But your true self required it. Required, Joe. You couldn't come here, he told me, unless I agreed to harm you. He was like, you can't blame anyone else, and I don't want you to blame anyone else. And if you do blame anyone else, I'll blame you for blaming other people. I'll say to you, do you think I wasn't at your house? Do you think I wasn't there? Do you think this isn't my world? And people are like, but that's all mythology. That's in the Matrix too. But if you follow my story, you'll know I didn't know nothing about these things when they were told to me. And it started when I was a tiny child, right? This is no lie. This is the summer before kindergarten. Me and my mother, my mom and dad had got a divorce, and me and my mother had moved into an apartment a few miles away, and this is what I remember. And what's crazy, as a child, what I'm going to tell you was not any surprise to me. And this was in the ritual. I mean, I always remembered this. This is a story my mother tells to this day. And, this is not something that was just revealed in the ritual. This is a fact. So I was 4 years old, about to turn 5 years old, and we moved to this apartment complex out of, away from the house I had grown up in. And like, it was scary, like the vibrations to me. And I had no, I was 4. But Maria in the ritual was showing me how I was picking up on all kinds of vibrations, especially from my mom because I was in her energy field all the time. But moving me out of that house, like she said, Joe, believe it when I tell you your enemy actually followed you into the world because they had this vast network of, like she said, what Hollywood dumbasses would call demon possession, which is actually switching bodies with either technological projections of DNA, which we call real people who aren't. They're real projections, real AI of a real person, but they're still not real. They're actually not jacked into the matrix, so to speak, because that's literally, as I say over and over in each podcast, the premise of the context of everything we're saying, and you will not fucking understand anything if you don't get the context that you're laying on the bed, jacked into technology that somehow, and I don't claim to be able to explain how the technology, but I do give thanks for it every fucking week. That connects technology, that connects our imaginations. If you know what imagination is, concentration and meditation, then you'll know this is miraculous and incredible, and it fooled you. So, who is the genius? I mean, where are we going to start? I don't know anything about these things, how to send information wirelessly through fucking vril energy space, because I believe I can do it with my mind. So I don't care about the books and the technology, right? I know it's possible because I do it all the time. And I really do it in the ritual with the help of the mushrooms, which is the true meaning of the New Testament. The New Testament is really a story about the mushroom, like the Rig Veda, the oldest book on earth. If you don't like it, it's too fucking bad. If you don't like it, it's because you're not part of our religion, and we're glad. We're glad that it's not popular, because popular means sucks. There's always exceptions. I feel like, someone's like, oh, da. Well, we know there's always exceptions to everything. In every world, in every situation, no one should be living by absolute laws that give you the leverage, the moral leverage that is fake. Fake. That's how we got here. To this nightmare. To this scientific dictatorship. You fucking idiots in America. You're so stupid. Usher in a fucking foreign Mossad CIA agent to come and fucking implant a chip in your brain. You people deserve what you're going to get. And when I perform that ritual on the banks of the Missouri River and the curse of Lucifer to destroy America, it makes me happy that I did that. To this day, I'm happy, that I took action in, somewhere in some other space and time. I can say, after I woke up, I did wage war. Astral, vril war against our enemies. In Valhalla, we shall, reminisce, but not here in the Matrix. Beware of those who want to reminisce. Because remember is not reminisce. It's opposite, you know. Some of the practical things Maria had me doing when I first met her, and I didn't know her as Maria, as the Missouri River Goddess, she would have me do breathing exercises of polarity, words of polarity, right? Like, um, things I didn't understand. And her, it was just like her cute way of teaching me that I didn't know the true opposites in nature. Like the opposite of peace is war, right? No, hate. And the opposite of love is hate. No, it's war. Why? Because you're not saved by faith. You're saved by your works. Only you can save you. And see, those actions are the polarity of our feelings. And we're trying to compare ourselves to evil people, and that's a deadly mistake. Don't compare yourself to anyone. That's a law in our religion. You know, like Maria would say, oh, that's like the third or fourth commandment, but it really falls under the single commandment of thou shalt not be boring. And we're joking when we say thou. We're making fun of you. We're laughing at you, you stupid fucking English prick. And we love, the British working class. We want you to come out of her, our people. Come out of her and meet us in Africa. That's where we're going. Right? Because what is the verse? It's going to end now that I'm pissed. The world it's on my blacklist, and I let them know, Trump and the people you represent, you make-up face clown, you clown. You and your clown posse of dorky scientists that work for Satanists. That's so unoriginal. We're Satanists. That's so Jewish of you. That's so Kabbalistic of you. I'm not going to get mad. I want to get really mad because respect and recognition are due to the real teachers. And I shouldn't say this more, but this is what Maria Orsic told me. When she left this world in she first left this world in 1941, and then she took a few trips to another dimension called Aldebaran, which is not Venus. And then she, in 1944, began what she would really call the Wizard of Oz, Yellow Brick Road of discovering who she really was and how she had a job to bring everything that was told of her from one world to another. And the main reason was preservation. We are all about preserving what happened on earth, the truth. We're all about the truth because the truth is the most interesting story. The true story is the most, and it produces all the authentic, true smile, true thank yous. Like she said, those are choices. Let me just throw in here what she said about worship one day I fell down at her feet. And this is after she had been explaining to me how the gods had prearranged a marriage to two women, on Venus that I would have to find here in the Matrix. That was the number one reason why this magic marriage ceremony took place. That's what she told me. And I literally was like, wow, holy shit, I've never even conceived of an idea. I never heard of such a thing. She used to make me gasp, like, truly, not a fucking fake gasp. Sorry. And she would tell me, and you had to find those two women was your first test, and that's why your ancestor friends were saying to you, you did it, you did it, you did it. Because the first thing I said is like, what did I do? And you were like, they said, and really thanks and praise to those friends of mine, those ancestor friends of mine. That's your real friends, who were waiting for me my whole life. They were waiting for me. And I think what that means is they were on Venus meditating, checking in with me all the time, trying to switch bodies with me, trying to heal me, trying to help me. And they were like, you did it, you did it. I was like, did what? And they were like, first they were like, you're here, you're out of your body, you're completely out of your body. We're on another dimension together. They were like dancing around me like, you did it, you did it. And they were like, also, you wouldn't have got here unless you found Joey and Mindy. And I was like, what? And this is how I met this is how I met my true self. I was like, what? And they had kind of hoods, and monk's robes, and they were kind of covering their eyes a little. Like, I could tell. And with their minds, they were telling me, like, we can't show you our full faces. We're not supposed to show you our full faces. Like, we're allowed to do that. We're lucky that we're able to do this, And I started celebrating with them, and they were like, yeah, this is how I met my true self. They're like, you found them, you found them, you found Joey and Mindy. And they were like, you wouldn't have got here without them. That was your first test. And other things were said. This was the end of the conversation. And it actually, in the natural observer, I was the avatar on the mushrooms observing this happening in the astral body. But I was still conscious. So like Maria said, you were three people. You were sleeping back on Venus. You were meditating on your bed on the simulated Earth. And you were out of that body on the astral plane of Earth. She said that's what we call the inner Earth. The inner Earth where we meet. You and I. She said, even though we live on Venus, you and I meet and work every night in the inner Earth. It's what we do. As work. Not as art, but as work. I was like, huh? Do we? And she's like, yeah, while you sleep. And she's like, if you're, fully with me, it's going to be about that. It's going to be about when you're sleeping. I was like, what? She's like, Joe, true self never sleeps. You work while you sleep. On Venus, we don't sleep. She said, we go into meditations, we don't sleep. There's no sleep because the body don't need to rest. I was like, whoa. And, back to my ancestors and meeting my true self. They said to me, you did it. You did it. You found them. It was a miracle. It was a miracle. I was like, what? What did you... That caught my ear, actually. That was a miracle, you said? Because I really was tripping in, our language. I was really reflecting, thinking about what they were saying. Like, because, in this life, nobody has two wives. It was just like funny how they were talking to me. Completely odd. Like, almost like another language. But I was very getting the meaning and kind of fascinated by the words they were using, because like they told me, the first thing you have to agree to and you have to realize you're good, you're good. And I was like, what do you mean? They're like, sinner. You're not a sinner. That's ridiculous. They're like, Joe, we know you. And, I just remembered that's when my friend took his hood back, so I could see his face. And he's like, Joe, you know me. I'm your friend back home. He's like, if there's anything I've waited to tell you, you're good. He's like, matter of fact, Joe, you're initiated into the good. And I looked at him funny. He said, you don't even know what that means, do you? He said, believe me, it means a lot. He said, not only that, he said, but because of the goddess, you're initiated into the white light. I was like, what? He was like, when you died in that white light, and he was like, you were initiated into that group because of her. He's like, do you understand how lucky you are to be that? I was like, I don't even know what that means. He's like, that means that the white race, that you were brought before the white race. I was like, what? And, so he was trying to give me the context. And where I'm going is, my true self. And like Maria said, at some point, Joe, you have to. Because your story is our story. Because proudly, I'm telling you, man, there's people a lot smarter than me. And I proudly, very much would love to be the vessel for the most beautiful woman to ever exist. Ever. Ever. I mean, there's no one that quite looks like her. Or is shaped like her, or just, who thinks of a Scorpio as the absolutely, hands down, most beautiful of all creatures? And I can hear her saying right now, I do. Me, I think Scorpios are that. And snakes. And heil to our scorpion and snake friends. Right? But back to it, my friend, you're the good. You're from the white light and the white race. I was like, what are you talking about? What do you mean? He's like, Joe, there's a thing, a official thing from the gods, not our gods, the big gods, called the white race. I swear to God, I thought to myself, That sounds racist because I was brainwashed at that time, you know, to think one race is better than another, and that it's not true. The illusion is the illusion. It's the story of the illusion. But the reality of the individual is no one wants to be generalized who is an individual, right? Can you feel the counterbalance? Yeah, there's data, there's a race, there's culture. It exists. Of course it exists, right? But it's counterbalanced with I'm an individual. Don't fucking tell me who I am. Don't tell me I inherited shit from people that did not create my soul, did not create who I am and where I am and what I am and why I am. Hear me? My parents, of course, they didn't create where I was when I became their child. You're like, what do you mean? I wasn't in the body, right? We're vril, we're, spirit, ether, whatever you want to call it. Personality, persona, whatever you want to call it, true self. No one, and we're just going to keep saying it like a Scorpio keeps stinging away until it's dead. No one created you. Set yourself free. Be yourself. Resolve the past through astral energy work of grammar, logic, rhetoric on the astral plane in your own life. Like you go back to each situation that decided the reality you presently live in. You let your true self naturally do this. You give it the opportunity. That's what the ritual is. The ritual is giving opportunity for magic. And this is the magic. We're talking about not manifesting money or anything like that. This, resolving the dramatic, powerful situations that made you who you are, that made you keep repeating your life, right? And why do you keep repeating your life? Because you're living as if you're not in a simulation. You're living as if the simulacra is real. And over and over and over, my friends and my gods had to tell me to my face over and over and over and over and over and over for many years, it's not real, Joe. They're not real, Joe. Just look at the facts, look at the data. Very few people are really real. That's why they're running on instinct, running on feeling, That's why they're being there, like that movie. They're just fucking being there, right? They just click into the DNA projected AI narrative of their cellular DNA information code. It's just information. It's just a super duper duper computer, as Maria would say. And as my friends were telling me, I was initiated into the good, the white light, and the white race. They were telling me that this, on a practical level led to this magic marriage ceremony of these two women that I had just witnessed the whole thing, of each one, and how I was given in these ceremonies these like psychic tests as a requirement that I had to pass to marry them. It wasn't like, you know, I do, I do. It wasn't that. It was, and say what you will, whatever, you know. I've had a crazy moment with Maria where I was like, and I say this to my own embarrassment, but, I say it also to let you know how much of a regular person I am. I said to her one time, can the gods be wrong? And she looked at me with a straight up crazy look and was like, Joe, stop. Just relax. And then, like, she waited a few moments, and she said, Joe, no. The gods can't be wrong. And she said, but I do respect that you're willing to go against anything. And she said, but Joe, I'm your teacher. Relax. Listen to me and obey me, because this is a delicate situation. This was way back, when me asking her if the gods could be wrong was not long ago. It was like a year ago or something, You have to be honest before the most authentic lady, the lady of ladies. But anyway, truly not trying to drag this out or waste anybody's time. But I want to be precise in the moment that I had already witnessed these two ceremonies. And Maria was there with me in the ceremony, which was comforting that she was there. When I came back and I said to her, Missouri River Goddess, what was that? She said, that was your marriage ceremony, your real marriage ceremony. And that was my very first one, was my, legal wife. And, I was just fascinated at how beautiful she was and how crazy. I mean, god damn, it couldn't be more different. I didn't know it was a marriage ceremony, but couldn't be any more different than what we do here in America. And I said to her, like, what was that? And she was laughing, and I go, and you were there. You were there. And she said, son, of course I was there. Haven't I told? She said, the night we re-met on your birthday, I told you I'm your real mother. She said, don't you think your real mother would be at your marriage? And while she was saying that, I straight up, that was like magic words. And that's when I went into the other one. That was the same sort of ceremony, except Asians. And the hooded priest, high priest, who I didn't know was a god, was Asian. Because there's only 3 races: white, red, and black. All right? And I'm talking original human beings, not their offspring. Their offspring, is us. We're everything. But I'm talking the original. And then I came back to her. And when I came back to her, I was completely fascinated. And I told her, I don't get it though. Why was there two of them? I mean, I was just being completely honest. Like half of me, I first said to her, "You were there again." And she said again, she laughed and said, "Joe, of course I was." I go, "Yeah, this crazy." Because I go, but because there was no conception, no concept in my mind of marriage being something different than Christian dumbass America has taught us, right? A merry age, a merry age, a Maria age, a marriage, a marriage. I had two magic marriage. And the second time I came back to her is when I started getting a little perplexed, and I was like, well, I don't understand, because I was still questioning. This was the very first ritual. And that very first night, I still wasn't really sure what really was going on. And they knew that. And I started getting perplexed and going to her, like, am I just making all this up? Like, because, like, somebody wants me to choose between them? I said, I've already chose. I'm already married. And she started fucking laughing, going, Joe, son, my child, you don't understand. She was laughing, saying, you don't understand. And I guess by some magic power of hers, that is when she sent me to my friends that whole scene I described, and it ended with them saying, right, you're initiated into the white light, the white race, the good, and them saying, then, Joe, you've been through these two magic marriages for this purpose, not for you, for this purpose. And I was like, as the observer, I was getting so perplexed at what I was seeing. I was trying to like break into the scene of like, and they knew it because it's all happening outside of time and space, and they were recognizing that. And they started laughing, and they're like, Joe, there's nothing you can do. Why are you trying to fight against it? There's nothing you can do. And I said to the guy, are you saying I have to choose between one of them? Because that don't make sense. And they started laughing again, going, you, Joe, don't know yourself, and you're going to learn. Follow the God. And when he said, follow the goddess, I'm not kidding you, like a energy tunnel from behind him just sucked me through the tunnel in like a millisecond. And I was standing in like black, I guess, computer space next to a fucking energy tunnel, like around a circle of just fucking swirling bright white energy. And standing beside the energy tunnel was this. This is the first time I ever met my true self in the simulation. And like she said, maybe you came here to meet your true self. And maybe that's what it required, right? Because you'll learn everything is predestined from when. There is no when. That's when. And check this out. This energy man was standing next to the energy tunnel. And with his mind, he said, you, come here. And I walked over to him. And before I got to him, I started thinking Who are you? Who are you? What is this? Like I'd never seen anyone like this, you know? It was like a new being to me, but clearly in the shape of a man. And when I got to him, he said, Joe, I'm you. I said, I laughed. I laughed in my own face and went, what? What are you talking about? Because when you're deceived in, thinking you're an individual when you're not, you laugh at someone saying that they're you. I laughed and he laughed back. He laughed back and he said, no. He said, look. And when I looked at the tunnel, I seen Joey and Mindy like hugging each other. And he was like, they love each other more than they love you. And he said, and you love them both. And they love you too, because it's your life's purpose. He said, it's not at all that you must choose. It is that it was chosen for this very purpose. And I said, what purpose? What purpose? And he's, I swear, he spoke in like a different language. And I went, what did that mean? And he said, do I have to say it to you? You killed yourself. This was the only way not to kill yourself. I laughed and went, I didn't kill myself, and I'm not going to kill myself. He said, you don't understand. He said, I am you. I created you.